translate and solve. So the key equation and keywords. So we have a percentage problem, right? So we have a percent, and we're going to put that over 100, or divide by 100, right? Another way to think about it. And we're going to go ahead and multiply that times a number. We're going to put the word up there. I'll explain that in a minute, and that will be equal to a new number, and we're going to put is there. So when we see a percent, right, that's just where we're going to put it, right, over 100. And then anytime we see the word up, we're going to think multiply. So that number, when we see like of $500, we're going to go ahead and multiply that by the percent over 100. And then anytime we see the word is, we're going to think equal. So let's go ahead and look at that first example. So Leo receives a $950 bonus at the end of the year. If the bonus is 19% of his monthly salary, what is Leo's monthly salary? So if we have our equation, right, we have a percent, so we're going to go ahead and put that right there. We also notice that Leo receives a $950 bonus, and then at the end of the year. So if the bonus is, so notice if the bonus is, so that means it's going to be the result of whatever the percent over 100 times of, and this of, right, is going to then has to be the monthly salary. So let's go ahead and fill this all in. So we have percent, which is 19 over 100, and then we're going to go ahead and multiply it by a variable, because we're solving for that variable, and that's going to be equal to 950. So to get x by itself, we're going to go ahead and take the reciprocal on both sides of this 19 over 100. So it's going to become 100 over 19, right? Because then on the left-hand side, that's just equal to 1. So we really just get x by itself. And then on the right-hand side, we're going to get a calculator out and solve. So we have $950. And then we're going to go ahead and multiply that times 100 divided by 19, and we get 5,000. So the monthly salary is 5,000, which makes sense, right? 19% over 100 times 5,000, so that's about 1/5, right? 19 over 100 is close to, right, like $1,000. So that mentally checks out if you do a quick check to make sure your answers kind of like logically make sense of like, is that a good answer, without even doing a calculation. And you can always go ahead and do the calculation by putting $5,000 in here to make sure if you put 5,000 and you multiply that by 19 over 100 to make sure you get the $950. Now let's go ahead and look at the second example. So example 2, a business has a 145% increase in revenue during the second year. If the revenue in the first year was $195,000, what was the revenue in the second year? So notice we have a percent over 100. So when we're looking at this, we have a 145% increase in revenue during the second year. So that means this 145% times this first year revenue, right, is going to give us our second year, because we're going to get a larger number, right, as a result in the second year. So when we do that, right, we have a percent, which goes right there. This $195,000 is our first year, and so when we multiply that with a percent over 100, we're going to get the revenue in the second year. So let's go ahead and plug all this in. So we have 145 over 100 times 195,000, and we're going to get our revenue in the second year. We'll just put it as X. So let's get the calculator out. So we have 145 over 100. Then go ahead and multiply it. And we get 282,750. So that would be the revenue in the second year.